without further ado, I'd now like to invite Lafarge UK's President, Governor James, to officially open the proceedings.
Lord Berkeley, Minister, honoured guests, and actually to all the people who have been involved in this project for the last almost 30-40 years, a warm welcome to you all. I'm allowed to say that because the sun is shining in Kent today. It's almost like being in my homeland Wales. It looks beautiful out there, and I'm pleased you've joined us. I'm delighted actually that to have a train take you to an event, a personal train take you to an event, is something quite unique, something quite special. Obviously the Minister is used to this, and I think Lord Berkeley is used to this, and I've had the delight of speaking to them both on the journey here. It's their enthusiasm actually that brings them here today. It's a real pleasure to have them both with us, but the one thing I've recognised as an individual is how much these two actually genuinely care and believe in what's happening here.
It gives me great pleasure now to invite Lafarge's Land and Planning Director, David Sims, to say a few words. David.
The re-establishment of the rail link to this site is something that a small group of us always hoped would happen, but we hardly dared think it would happen during our working lives. For those of you who come by train, it's probably been about 2 hours since you left Victoria. For us, our rail journey started about 19 years ago, in the summer of 1993.
I'd now like to invite Chris Dewlake, the Chief Engineer for Crossrail, to say a few words. Chris.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute delight to be here this afternoon to see firsthand the works that have been completed, because there's been a tremendous effort from all those involved in to get us to this stage on time. So for that we thank you.
Thank you, Chris. It now gives me great pleasure to invite our guest of honour, the Thames Gateway Minister of Neill, to say a few words.
Well, thank you very much, Stephen. Thanks for that introduction, and thank you very much to all of you for the introduction, for the chance to come here today. And I also want to congratulate Lafarge and all their partners for the work that has been done. We in government have certainly wish to support and facilitate this move, but it's been driven by the work that's been done by private sector partners with public sector support, and that we think is entirely in line with the vision that we have for the Gateway going forward. Enhancing infrastructure in the Gateway has not only delivered an immediate benefit in terms of the jobs here on site and all the advantages we've already heard about delivering Crossrail and the benefits that brings to the long-term economy, but of course also the better connectivity now that the site's got is going to make it so much more attractive when we go forward to the next stage with the homes, the commercial development and the jobs that will go with that here in Northfleet as well. And of course we as a government have been determined that the local councils in the areas that give the planning permissions for that development will now, through the new homes bonus, through business rates retention, have the ability to benefit directly for themselves, their services and their council taxpayers from the growth that is coming into this area. So that's a very important step forward, and I hope that will give us the opportunity to demonstrate not just nationally but internationally that the Thames Gateway is very much open for business, but government is very much committed to supporting the Thames Gateway and in particular the work both of the county and borough councils in the area, and also of course now of the South East Local Economic Partnership, which I think has a real regenerative impact to make now in driving the Thames Gateway agenda forward. Delighted to unveil this package.
Well, welcome everyone from me, from GB Rail Freight. My name's John Smith, I'm Managing Director of GB Rail Freight, and this lovely lady behind me belongs to me. So we are the fag end of what's done. We're not as sexy and as big as a tunnelling machine, and whilst we do give them names, like Jeanette down at the other end, we're not necessarily as sexy as that element of it, but we are the key element to it. Without these trains running and running to time and running in what is a very heavily used commuter railway, then the tunnelling machine stops. And I'm well aware from our customers that is hugely unacceptable. So I'm very proud to be involved with Crossrail. It's fantastic for us. I'm very proud that I think one of the reasons that we've been chosen to do this type of work is because of our attention to detail and the fact that we will run regularly. But it also is hugely important as to how our people interface with the terminal here at Northfleet, with Lafarge, but also at the other end with BAM's Nuttall's at Westbourne Park. And the relationships that happen on a day-to-day basis at the sharp end, I just think are hugely important. So enough from me. We are obviously going to name this loco, and I'd like to ask Bob and Chris to help do that. There has been a lot of thanks, but more generally I'd like to thank Lafarge, I'd like to thank BAMS, I'd like to thank Crossrail. I'd also like to thank Riviera Trains, who've been great in supplying the service to us, but I'd also particularly like to thank everyone from GB Rail Freight who's supported getting the train in here today. So without further ado, I think I'd like to invite Bob and Chris just to pull the cord and unveil the nameplate, if you would. And I think it's done.
Here we go, Chris. Let's come right in. Here we go then. Right. Now who'd have called that?
And I think so. Finally, on behalf of Lafarge, GB Rail Freight, Crossrail, and all our honoured guests, thank you very much and safe journey onwards. Thank you.
And we have